UBC Ground Zero every Sunday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. UBC Radio, inspiring Uganda. At UBC Radio, all our radio network across the country is committed to inform, entertain, educate and guide for national transformation.
Our own radio, UBC, should set its own example. Leka bano abatafa ku bantu baffe bagumaza ndowooza Muganda kiyitibwa kugumaza, to divert people. Let our own UBC bring programs to educate the people so that abagala kugumaza babeereyo bagumaza naye naffe they can advise, guide. And people in time will judge the one who is their friend and who is just using them.
Tune into UBC Radios for credible socio-economic programs. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Welcome to Ground Zero Season 2, a show that brings you in-depth discussion ranging from politics, health, finance, sports, and so much more. Ground Zero Season 2.
Ground Zero it is this day, the 13th of July 2024. I welcome you and greet you. Hopefully everyone is doing good, and chances are, in case of anything bad, it will be coming good by the end of the day, hopefully by the mercies of God. My name is Tony Kent Chaze, and I am your host for this particular one this day as we talk youth skills for peace and sustainable development. Now, just to take us back into time, before I unleash my squad for the day today, just to take us back into time, this day came into place, a specific day, that is the Youth Skills for Peace and Development Day, came into place about 10 years ago, that is way back in 2014, with the United Nations General Assembly coming through to put aside a day that would be used to be a day for observing what the youth need, a day to be used to enhance the youth, a day to be used to organize the youth for the future that they have at hand. What do I mean? The youth are the future of tomorrow. And as this comes our way, they are the ones we need to be grooming, or perhaps they are the ones that should be groomed for the future that is ahead. Now, when that day came into place, it began to be celebrated, and this particular year, it was exactly 10 years on 11th of July when the Youth Skills for Peace and Sustainable Development Day was celebrated. As I do invite or perhaps introduce my guests of the day today, allow me take us in a brief abstract of the message the Secretary General of the UN shared concerning this day, 2024, the World Youth Skills Day, 2024. His Excellency Antonio Guterres said, I quote, "The future of humanity and our planet depends on young people, but it also depends on ensuring they have the skills to tackle today's challenges and shape a more peaceful tomorrow." End of quote. Well, just in case you're out that side, this day today, Ground Zero is focusing on the Youth Skills for Peace and Sustainable Development, yielding from the World Youth Skills Day celebrations that were conducted on the 11th of July this year, 2024. In studio with me, as those that we often emulate have said, ladies first, we do have Madame Rose Bisikwa from Mama Youth Uganda. Please say good morning to us and greet us, Mama.
Good morning, listeners. I'm glad to be here for the cause of the future, the youth of this country and the youth of Uganda. I wish you a good period of listening and engagement.
Okay, thank you. That is Madame Rose Bisikwa. Well, somehow, somewhere, I will have to end with someone a little bigger in terms of the hierarchy. But in studio as well is Kada Akansasira Junior Victor. He's the CEO of Nurture African Youth Network, often initialized as NAYNET, but is as well a global schools mentor on SDGs. Good morning to you, Kada.
Dear listeners of UBC Radio, and particularly Ground Zero program, we are basically here to discuss matters of national importance and of course generational importance. I am really glad to be here as Kada and as a youth activist, Gen Z.
Hey.
And yes,
Okay.
the Gen Z is basically demanding education for sustainable development. We need sustainable skills.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now I can say I should be very careful how I handle you, because where else I've had Gen Z or Gen Z, there's been a bit of trouble. Anyway, that is Kada Akansasira. We'll find out where he gets the title Kada, perhaps a little later. Now, why I said I have to bring the guest last in studio as the last one is because he is an officer in the army, holding a rank of Colonel. I had to salute him when I came through. Don't mind me being a civilian. And he came very early. That tells us a lot, by the way. It tells us very, very much. Kano Chihuta Patrick is here with us. He's the CEO of Kawumu Leather Industry, Uganda. Good morning to you, Kano.
Good morning, moderator, and good morning to you, the listeners. We thank you for this moment that has come by when we are going to explicitly indicate what we are trying to do in a bid to bring the Generation Z into perspective and, solve issues before they happen.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. This might be a hot one for me. We are also meant to have Mademoiselle Rita Namuwenge, who is the coordinator Emyoga program. But as of now, she's still on probably her way, because the communication that I've gotten has seemingly suggested so. So we shall start without her all the same. Gentlemen and lady, let's actually get to the start of the show. We are talking youth skills for peace and sustainable development. A little earlier, I gave a preamble of why this is necessary to skill the youth in line with achieving peace and sustainable development. They are the generation to look up to for the tomorrow we are projecting. What does this particular day in its way, the day that happened on the 11th of July, that is the World Youth Skills Day, mean to us generally? Let's start with Madame Rose.
Thank you very much. Maybe we start with looking at the youth. When we are talking about youth in Uganda, we are referring to people between ages 18 and 30. In the just concluded census, we are learning that they make the biggest number of our population. What does that point to? They are an issue of concern. So to reach where we're supposed to go, if we have a vision, we should have these people. But they will just be a confused crowd. They who are mentored to development. And we shall not have development without peace. But what is the quality of these young people? To achieve what we want as a country, the cadre here says we are here on issues of national importance.
Yes.
The energetic people have to be mentored to be both productive, organized, and just for us to have peace. What do we have to do then? To achieve, we need to empower these youth with productive and social skills. Yes.
Okay.
Because government in its has done a lot so far. The government of the Republic of Uganda, through the of our Museveni, has put in place various programs which my colleagues will talk about, but without we can do what we have made for over 65 years. What do I mean? For development, for peace, we need to nurture these young citizens to have the right mindset. We have to give them life skills, social skills that guide them in their endeavor in productivity. I have been from I see office because I've been a government worker. But there is something lacking among some of them if we are saying we want to reach a desired destiny. We have, yes, I have my degree, I have a job, but without mindset, we are in office to do our job and earn. We are not doing the right things to serve our country. That's why I said we go mindset. The right mind is conscious of his country, of his country. He serves. He doesn't simply work. Because a robot can do the work, but will not do the service.
Wow. A robot can do the work, but not the service.
Not the service. So when you are a conscious being, you will offer service. Sustainable education. I remember when he introduced himself. Our education in Uganda is meant to promote behavior, attitudes, skills, knowledge, and values. We want youth with skills for peace and development, but unfortunately, we have emphasized knowledge. So we have people who work and people who are not serving. What do we do then? I suggest we promote life skills, which include leadership skills, interpersonal skills, self-control skills, communication skills, problem-solving skills, creativity, and empathy.
Empathy.
Yes.
Okay, I'll be getting back to you, Madame Rose.
Thank you very much.
Thank you as well. But as of now, before I get to Kada Akansa Sira, because I just wish to run in that kind of order, to remind you, the one that is listening to us, we are coming to you live on UBC Radio. That is 98.0 FM in Kampala, 97.4 in Arua, and 99.4 in Lira. But at the same time, you can as well get us live on 96.9 Mbale, that is Butebo FM, and 98.4 FM in Soroti. The West Nilers, we greet you. Thank you for being a part. You are getting us live on 98.0 FM in West Nile, whilst as well Magic 100 FM is coming to you live with this same broadcast. You can visit Facebook, that is UBC Radio on Facebook, as well as on X, UBC Radio UG, to get a hold and a feel of this Ground Zero episode today. Coming to Kada Akansa Sira, Junior Victor. Perhaps by the virtue of the title you carry, Kada, you'll be letting us know what exactly it means. But you being in a nurturing organization, what exactly is nurturing and how is it benefiting the youth?
Thank you so much, my brother, moderator. I want to thank God for sitting with people of great caliber in this studio, and I want to thank UBC for bringing such pertinent discussion for our young people particularly. Nurture African Youth Network was started. Professionally, I'm a teacher.
Wow.
And
so that makes two so far.
Two of us.
So I taught for some time. I'm a teacher of English and literature.
Wow.
But for the time I spent in class, I realized there was a lot that was not being done. That's how I came to UBC to host the youth show. Then later on got a scholarship to go and study in Egypt, basically education for sustainable development. And from then, 3 years after the training, I had to go to Khartoum in Sudan. I worked with UNESCO in South Sudan, and basically to ensure that young people in East Africa and Africa get sustainable skills.
Okay.
So basically, I've been a champion of education for sustainable development, ensuring that education is not basically about knowledge, acquiring knowledge, but tangible skills.
Yes.
At the end of it all, this child must leave school not looking for a job, but at least starting up something. So when I resigned, I said, no, let me go back home and engage young people and empower. So that's how we started Nurture African Youth Network. We host monthly online global youth webinars across for all African countries. We engage CEOs, we engage technocrats, we engage stakeholders, we engage ministers to see where is the problem. Why are the young people unemployed even when they have potential? They are the majority, but I want to quote it, they look to be useless, as our mentors say, as our seniors call it. So meaning that there is a problem. So as the young people, we must come up and find solution for these challenges. So that is how we came up with Nurture African Youth Network. We identify a talent, a skill in a child, then we groom that skill.
Okay.
So basing on the statistics, the previous statistics of UBOS and then our Ministry of Finance, we realized that Uganda is really growing the economy. Now we are now looking at the 72 trillions, our budget. But where do the young people lie if it comes to budgeting? If you look at also the UBOS statistics, you look at the 22.7%, which gives us the 18 to 30 years young people. Then the I don't know where they put the 50.5%, where they say this is from 0 to 17. Then I ask myself, well, these ones are not youth. Why do they call them children if somebody is a teenager? So I think this is, I don't want to call it bias, but we must say, if, for example, before UBOS statistics, they were giving us 78%. And the previous statistics, still, we are on 78%. If you add up 50.5%, then plus 22.7%, that means we are supposed to be over 85% as young people.
Yes.
But is the government really planning for us? Well, as a cadre who trained in early 2016...
you finally answered that.
As a cadre who was identified by, let me call it maybe the state, because of what we were doing in 2016 to ensure that the country gets knows the government programs. I think I'm in the right. I have the right to discuss what is real apparent for this country. Though I'm not employed,
yes,
but I think
But Kada, I felt you were pinching the country the wrong way. When you hear the 72 trillion, you wonder where the youth fall. There are lots of programs where the youth have actually been encompassed. Unless for some reason you want to hear that of the 72 trillion, the youth are going to get, let's say, 10 trillion. No, there are programs, like, for example, where these monies have been placed. PDM is now going to get to a tune of 1 trillion this particular financial year.
Yes.
The monies in Myoga are going to continue going higher. We have initiatives. We have ministries like the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. There is a section there within the ministry which is for children affairs and the youth. So the money. I
was coming to that. I don't know why you cut me short.
I was only kind of seeking as well as giving you clarity.
Yes, thank you for your clarity. But I want to guide and inform that we are the majority.
Yeah.
though we are regarded as the minority when it comes to service delivery.
Not really.
The president, the president has done his work to initiate and guide and put forward the programs that can help the young people.
Yeah.
For example, I can talk about the Nyoga, I can talk about the parish, the PDM. I can talk about the youth livelihood program.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was the Youth Venture Fund.
Amongst others.
There is also the presidential skilling initiative
Yes.
in different regions.
Yes.
But if I may ask you, after skilling them, what next? They are the people that you see on the streets. For me, I stay in the gate. In this.
So do I.
In the previous Kololo Independence event where we were appreciating the president
a week and a half ago.
Yes. On 5th, I was on the organizing committee I was mobilizing institutions, I was mobilizing youth and pressure groups. I was moving in different regions of the country, identifying the challenges the young people are facing.
Yeah.
I want to inform you. Whoever wants to ask, I will give you information.
Yes.
Young people are truly skilled. They go through these skilling hubs, but after skilling them, they don't give them startups.
So you're concurring with Madame
Yes,
Rose,
I do.
who said we are just getting the knowledge, but otherwise, after the knowledge.
Yes, knowledge is there. The skills are being given, but after giving them the skills, then there are no startups to give these young people. You know the challenge we have is that
this is our show. Don't you worry. The time we shall avail to everyone. But briefly, what do you think should be done? Just briefly, as I turn to
there is a lot to be done. Number one, corruption. There's a lot of bureaucracy when we're identifying these young people. We look at sons of so and so. We are not looking at.
Don't point at the Kano.
No, the Kano is a good man. the military, they are not in these funny things.
Okay.
The young people who are getting skills are sons of so and so. Let me tell you.
Not
let me tell you. I have been giving skills. One of the eco care skilling programs, like bar soap, liquid soap, door mats. I'm skilling crafts, shoes, books. I'm skilling belts, bags, petroleum jelly in different schools. But for example, if for example this is a state program, that means if you're not connected, you not get this skill.
That is not true, Kada.
Kada, let me put a pause at you. Because you seem to have missed out on summary classes in school, you're failing to summarize. But anyway, that is just a light moment. Let's turn to Kano, because that point of Kada could actually be one of those Kano Chihuta will be highlighting in a bit. But Kano, you being the CEO of Kaumu Leather Industry Uganda, when Akansa Sira spoke about skilling, people making leather, products like belts, shoes, wallets, etc., I felt he was actually talking about you indirectly. And I'm wondering, what prompted Kaumu to actually jump on board this whole initiative and fight to achieve youth skills that can give us the peace and sustainable development we need?
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator.
Kent.
And
for simplicity, Kent.
Mr. Kent. Our dear listeners, this is a very good question. What prompted the establishment of the facility called the Kaumu? First of all, it was around 2021 when the president made some research and development and found out that there is a gap somewhere where the known to be waste, that is the cow hides and the sheep skins and goat skins were being wasted here at an African level, and at a homestead level we are using them at best as mats. But realizing from his research and development that the hides and skin was attracting a value of about 419.3 billion as per the year 2021, and also estimated to have a business growth to a tune of $708.7 billion dollars by 2030.
I was about to ask which currency we are quantifying.
Dollars.
Okay.
By 2030, according to the Archman Research and Consultancy, then the president, in his good initiative of looking for a way of how to cater for the youth, started and established a tannery.
Okay.
Now, when he established this tannery, of course, this establishment was backed by the natural endowment which we have, a number of cows that we are breeding, that we are rearing. We can quote a bit of it here that we have 14.2 million cattle. We also have 4.5 million sheep, 47 million poultry, and 4.1 million pigs, according to the research got by Uganda Leather Value Chain Strategy, the year 2015 to 2025. This is according to the program that was initiated by ALPI. ALPI stands for African Leather and Leather Product Institute, which is based in Africa, in the city of Addis in Ethiopia. So, given the background that we have, the resource base and the research given by the president, the only option he had to make was to ensure that he establishes a tannery, which tannery will process leather and leather products from the processing of hides and skins of both the goat and sheep. Of course, the hides are those skins of the cattle. Now, what was the objective of doing this? The objective of doing this was to create value out of the would have been seen as waste. Value creation for those wastes, value addition, the import substitution. Those are the objectives where he was looking at. Yes. Export promotion, employment opportunities for the young men.
Yes.
So, all these, of course, together with this is environmental protection and social corporate responsibility. Now, this social corporate responsibility, I guess it must be the reason why he decided to choose Luero. Remember the 5 years of the Bush War? He was moving around Luero, and the only way to give Luero, to give back to Luero for the work they did to host and hide him as he was fighting bad governance, was to put there this. And so far, I can assure you, we started as a tannery, but we are, because we identified the right people, we are pushing it to another level of becoming a leather industry. It is going to be soon dubbed as a leather city of Africa.
Wow.
Excellent.
With this, now I want to connect this one to the Youth Day, Youth Skills Day. I can say that this was a very good coincidence. On 11th July, it is the very day I welcomed the East African Community Secretariat, sponsored by PTB and GIZ, to come and visit Kaumu to learn more about how quality management systems are being managed. Okay. And indeed, they were very, very happy because by the time we started with forming only, producing only 4 types of leather. But within a year of operation, after we got an expatriate from Ethiopia by the name Solomon Getu, we are able to produce 59 types of leathers.
Wow.
Leather. So you can imagine. Now, of course, when we go this far, we are being guided by some of the important, core values. Quality assurance is first on the list.
Okay.
Then secondly, integrity. If you don't have integrity, you have no space in Kaumu. Then we have innovation and creativity. That is the reason that explains why we have grown from only 4 types to 59 now.
Yes.
And the line is very long, but what I'm trying to say is that indeed when these people came and visited us in Kaumu on 11th, it was a very good coincidence that Kaumu Tanare is now progressing and transiting steadily from just a mere tannery to an industry. Because an industry, a leather industry, means we are now diversifying after producing leather. What next? Value addition, value creation, yes. But in the value addition process, we have thought wise to start the footwear production line, which is now in process, and we have already secured all what it requires. That is why we call now ourselves Kaumu Leather Industry Uganda. That is a step forward. All these are being done for the purpose of empowering the youth in terms of skills, and above all, we are using the already skilled manpower, which is derived from the skilling centers. So both are initiatives started by the president. When they train, they pour into us as an industry of leather, and we are doing well.
Kind of for clarity's sake, yes. We could be having a listener who is wondering how it was successfully Kaumu leather industry taking this kind of bid, because there might have been other leather industries. But again, as well, in a bit of a summary, as you share with me that, I wish to know how many youth are now employed under Kaumu, for us to understand the burden you've so far served government in terms of helping the youth, keeping them resourceful and other benefits.
Thank you very much. Actually, as we speak now, we have an employment capacity of 120.
Wow.
And these ones include ideally around 85% are youth, which are
casual workers.
Youth
professionals,
including professionals and casual workers.
Okay.
Casual workers in number, they are 42.
Wow.
Then when you subtract 42 from 120, you remain with 78. So all those 78, including myself, cover the skilled and semi-skilled personnel, and many of them are under the age of 35.
Okay. So how did Kaumu end up the successful entity for this kind of skilling? Or perhaps it is more like a subcontracted entity where leather dealings are handled by Kaumu on one part, by Kent leather, industry on another, by Rose Leathers somewhere. How exactly did Kaumu end up as the one in the picture, in things, like the saying of today?
Yes. Why it has succeeded to that level? Kaumu has a direct linkage with the dreamer, the one who dreamt of it. And the State House is the main arm that supports us. Because indeed, as you will realize, what we are producing is not enough to sustain us. However, according to our strategic plan that we have drawn, 5-year working strategic plan, we believe that in a period of 3 years, we shall be sustainable enough not to get any support, any more support.
Self-sustaining.
We shall be self-sustaining.
Okay.
But the issue is that we have to list down all what we need, because we have some challenges. For example, some machines have already aged. We need new machines. The moment we get all what we need, then in 3 years we shall be able to sustainably move on our own.
Kano, I'll be returning to you. Thank you so much. That is Kano Chihuta Patrick, the CEO of Kaumu Leather Industry Uganda.
Thank you very much.
But initially, there was a bit of seeming disagreement from Madame Rose, that is Madame Rose Bisikwa of Mama Youth Uganda, as Kada Kansasira made a submission. I wish that this should be the time, Madame Rose, you come through with what exactly you had wanted to push through.
Yes, thank you very much, Kent. My concern was about Kada Asasra's
appreciation.
No, appreciation. I'll call it an allegation. At another forum, I'll call it an allegation. Okay?
Okay.
That of not appreciating that when you have a dining table and your sister...
A depreciation. Yeah.
And you have a Catholic like myself who has 12 children, then you have another one, Catholic but lives maybe in UK, conditions have forced him to do a good family planning and has 2 children. When they come to the dining table, they have fingers from the Catholic sister who lives in Uganda than the other one.
Yeah.
When the youth start saying they are not represented, it's an element of mindset again. Who is shaping the narrative for the country? Who are these monsters? I love the youth of Uganda. That's why I prefer calling myself Mama Youth. Yes. But somebody is deliberately shaping the narrative to make these young, productive, beautiful, and wonderfully made citizens feel being left out.
Negated.
The narrative is it is to cause a sense of hate among the young generation. I want to refer to fact. I thank the president that I have been doing monitoring and evaluation. I'll forever be grateful because it gave me opportunity to go to every district of Uganda, to every secondary school in Uganda. Schools were locked, isn't it?
Yes.
Very young people were in the field. But when you look at the effects of COVID-19, they hit the youth of Uganda more. Why? The universal secondary education, UPE, home. So they were hit with the of home. So just humble as they have been the children of Uganda. As a mother, it is very hard now to employ a young house help. Why? They are in school. So youth are in school, but somebody is raising a false narrative to make the children hate their country. Number 2, institutes. On addition to the skill hubs, we have 5 government ones. Kent, I don't know if you have had opportunity to go to UTC Bushenyi, Kichwamba, UTC Elgon, and there is one in Bunyoro, I forget the name. But they look like...
I actually feel even the DIT, the Directorate of Industrial Training, falls within the same...
Yeah.
That I've been to at least.
But construction, the fabric, the machinery there is not targeting Mama Rose with her 50 years plus. It is targeting the youth of Uganda to get skilled and they serve their country. The food program is the private institutions like commercial banks, Centenary Bank, Equity Bank, they have youth loans. But because of the our young people will go I said the purpose of education is to create the right behavior, attitudes, skills, and values. Unfortunately, we all skip out of the system with a lot of knowledge. But no who allow me to call the young educated people devils.
Oh.
Yes. People manipulate the system for quick earning. Undergrads. For you send the CDO, the chief. For us, we have made our organization sign here. When the money comes, for us, you give us our cut. The rest is history. They don't put it in productivity. Bagala kagwira. That is what I'm saying. I have been a facilitator there on issues of mindset. I will the machines, the users, but in the it was patriotism. When you check some of the and shows, you are still from a source which you has given you. He talked about there are people, big people, Kada. These are children from we could from some stuff here.
Kano, you want to make a rejoinder?
Some come from here.
A brief one, so that
Madam.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
I also, in support of what Madam Rose is saying, indeed, our Wakada wants to derail our discussion by bringing the fact,
maybe
which is not factual.
Kano, let me
I
ask.
want to give an example myself. Because myself, I studied BBA Accounting Makerere University. I also did operations at extensive level from Congo to Karamoja to Kasese and northern Uganda. But finally I went for masters in national security and strategy, where I wrote a thesis on science and technology. Now this thesis somehow I think is the very factor that that led me to be identified by the system. So, but I do not spend any coin to get this job.
You've just reminded me of the preamble we had as we were making introductions to ourselves off air.
Yes.
That by virtue of my dad, who I've recently realized is the chief engineer behind big government projects,
Exactly.
I'm actually not where I am because of my dad, but
yes.
my merit.
Excellent.
Exactly.
Let's have Madame Rose sum it up.
Thank
so
you
we can
very
get
much.
back to CADA
Yes.
before we see how to make connection with Rita Namwenge, who is likely to come our way via the phone.
Okay.
Yes, thank you very much for the addition. Yeah, we are concerned about skilling this youth for peace and development. And remember, I was arguing that there is somebody who is managing the narrative, because this person is not a friend of this country. This person is an enemy of this country. I don't know whether such people are sober. Tell the children that your country, Uganda, is doing an injustice to you. It is upon us, like the Baganda say, yes, an opportunity. I have gone to school. I have gone through the skilling program. What next? Let us remove this mindset from our heads that there is somebody there who for my soul well-being. Government ekukwatiddeko chi okujja ku. Our youth are not frugal. They have good life, sometimes without working hard. Yes, challenge. But we are few. Uganda has the highest population of dependents. I want us to appreciate that, so that the youth are peaceful. But when they start they turn upside down. We shall have very many people working.
Run out on resources.
Yes.
Run out of what we can help others depend upon us. And before we know it, we are not manageable any longer.
So for peace, realize that it's now that many, but with the skills, the right mindset, the future is bright.
Okay.
Big hope will not transcend into development and peace of this country. Thank you.
All right. A little later, we are going to directly make relation of how skills can eventually help to achieve peace and sustainable development as we get along. But Kada, I wanted you to make a response in line with the kind of job you do. You are nurturing, and I would put it better this way. You are a mentor, and perhaps if the verb exists, or the is it a verb, a pronoun? You are a nurturer, if I may put it that way. I wonder how then you nurture those you've told us come your way with bias. They come your way with an already set situation of this job is going to be taken by Kano's son, by Madame Rose's sister, by Kent's relative. How then do you nurture them? How do you help them?
I want to appreciate that you have all said.
I'm ordering for another bottle of water for you.
I want to appreciate. I want to appreciate that most of you have understood that there are challenges.
Yes.
You all know very well that every year we produce graduates
Yes.
That's right.
from the over 50 plus universities of this country.
Yes.
And I want all of you to agree that the 53, each of the 50, over 53 universities in this country produce over 10,000 students that graduate.
Yeah.
Where do they go? The president of this country, that I call my mentor, and really somebody has really served. We appreciate his work.
Asante
But
sana.
people around him have really tarnished his legacy.
And achievements.
And I want us to all agree. Himself said Uganda's youthful population is both an opportunity and a challenge. We must invest in their skills and education to derive the economic growth,
Which
or
he
to
has
drive
done.
the economic growth. He has done that.
Excellent.
But are we at the level he wants us to be? That's the big question. Before you set wrong balls to me in this studio, I will
No.
send you to the statistics of the previous Auditor General's report. On 28th of January 2024, it is this year,
Yes.
the Auditor General said in his report, 600,000 vacant jobs across various sectors and agencies are lost. We have 600 vacant jobs. And somebody comes up and says, we don't have jobs. 53 billions goes to workers. 53 billions are lost through ghost workers, retired, non-existent, or resigned.
But
First wait.
No. I'm helping. Kada,
It means, first wait, Nugu,
I'm helping you. How that is coming about is because there was a validation process which made clear such lapses have to be worked upon.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'm trying to bring you to the point that there are challenges. There are challenges.
Yes.
From the beginning, I've been appreciating, but I'm on the side of challenges.
Kada, don't
Listen, these challenges are brought by our seniors that we look up to. And from today, I want us to agree that we must find solutions to these challenges. Right? I think, Kano, you will agree with me and my mother.
We shall not just agree like that.
Very well. I want us to agree that today's discussion is embedded on ensuring that we have a sustainable skill generation.
Yes.
So that these huge numbers, mammoth numbers we are producing every year from different universities, at least have where to go. I want to let you know that when we skill these young people in schools, these are young people in schools, we are able to produce, even if at the end of senior 4 they have these tangible skills, even if they don't go to A level or they don't go to these other institutions like primary TTCs or NTCs, they already have skills. You never know what happens later on. So that means if we give these young people the skills, like for example, critical thinking. I was one of the young people in South Sudan who was awarded as the debate and public speaking trainer.
Okay.
What does that mean? It means I was earning a living from a skill. From a skill. Not from my degree, but from a skill. If we teach these young people creative and innovative skills, like you were saying, problem-solving skills, our society will be the best place to live in. Public speaking, communication skills, project-based learning. This is what took me in Egypt, not by the government,
That's
but
what
through
Muklam is
my
doing.
personal skills that I got from creative writing and how to apply for these scholarships and these fellowships, which most young people don't know how to do. An initiative through Nile that we are trying to bring on board. Dear listeners, when my mind talked about value-based learning, this is something that we need to look at. But if you're to give statistics and percentage, how many do we have? Kano, how many do we have? If you talk about, if you go to different schools of this, I've been teaching, you have been a teacher.
Yes.
How many schools give a project-based learning and value-based learning?
Oh, can I respond?
Can I respond?
Yes.
Now, I think to answer
First, wait. It's a question to think about. Most of our schools are in a competitive environment. The only thing we look at is how can my school be the best in the country?
Better grades.
Better grades.
Rather best grades.
But what about the skill or a value that this child has got to survive on, to live on? That is why you see we have corruption.
But
it is a why? So to discussing it. Let's not praise the government because we work for government. I know most of you work with the government and have benefited from government. Let's not praise the government just because it's the breadwinner. Let's agree that there are challenges and we find solutions for a better generation.
Yes.
Let's agree.
I am.
it is true.
But do you believe that there is corruption and
the education system is also partly responsible for that. I think I would be forced to believe that it is the reason why the curriculum has been changed.
Yes.
Actually now, I'm happy to note that my senior one chap at Mengo there is talking of AI, which I didn't know about because of what? Because of
The new
change
curriculum.
of new curriculum that
Curriculum.
is in place. I think partly that is what we should appreciate. That government is trying to ameliorate the challenges you are highlighting. So we can't just go wholesale that they are doing nothing. That is one.
they're doing
one
something.
thing.
They're doing a lot.
Okay. So, and secondly, you should know that the issue of corruption which you are bringing up, corruption indeed is everywhere, but it cannot stop us to identify people to work. I gave you an example of myself. We have so many canals, but the way I was selected to go and head this industry, I even don't know. So just be at your work, do the right job. The government has very many eyes. You may think you are alone, but somebody is monitoring you.
Yes.
That's why you just do the right thing.
Maybe
If you are not monitored, the right thing will look for you and put you in the right position.
I am about
That is
to.
what I'm saying.
I'm about to take full control of the microphone switches, so that you people can actually pay attention to me as the boss right now. Anyway, briefly, Kada, because I wanted to get a solution from you. I often have this approach of if someone identifies a problem, I need them giving us a solution.
Yes.
By virtue of appreciating, we have graduates coming through as graduates each year, but having no jobs. Who then should give us the jobs?
Well, that's a brilliant question. I want to say, like I said, as a global schools mentor, that as we are the ones to ensure that they create their own jobs, and that's why we're in this studio for talking about skill development, talent identification, but also in this I want to advocate that the annual budget should ensure that skill development are given at least a good percentage of the money, planning, and of course talent identification. If you look at the young people, most of them are talented, they are still energetic. They need to play football, they need to play music, You're talking about internet, digital learning. We are in the 21st century. True. We need these skills. But now, my brother, Kano, my mama, if you add the 20% data, so that are you not killing research? Then should we say that you people are we taking the right path? My moderator, the percent you're adding on tax because young people may be misusing information. On the other hand, you're also killing research. I want to agree that
who is killing research?
The ministry
regulating.
Those that are putting the percent on tax, on data. Remember, most young people are not
we
employed.
Need to harmonize, basically.
Exactly, very good. You've used the best word. Yes, we need to have these young people get these skills.
A win-win situation.
But also, we have to advocate for at least the reduce on this data that is added on the tax on the data, so that young people can do research. Okay. If you talk about is it AI,
artificial intelligence,
you cannot use artificial intelligence without data. We don't have jobs. We are from universities. We do research, come up with innovations, creativity to do things.
Okay, that's a very good point.
It's a good point.
To interject, me, I have 2 graduate sons. Now, when they finished, they heard that I've been a CEO. They were putting me on pressure. Daddy. Now you are there, you are the one in charge. Even their mom. But I said, my dear, how will people look at it? Which skill are you going to offer there? Now, what I will do for you, I will get some percentage of my salary. I save it for some skill. In addition to the degree you have, the other one is having a degree in procurement and the logistic chain management. Yeah?
Wow.
But I said, as of now, we already have a person there. And our capacity is very small to say we have 2. Even if we were to have 2, I may pick another person, not you. Because people will think now, you see, they have given him his sons. They may not think that you are even qualified. So what I did, I said, my son, get this money, go and train your hands-on skills in training how to repair phones. The guy has finished now 3 months training, and whenever my phone gets a problem, he handles it. I give him money. Then the next step is to establish for him somewhere where he will sit. That is job creation. I've already created for him a job. The knowledge he has as a graduate helps him to network and even do other things better than what he is already using. The job may come, yes, the job will come when he's surviving. So that is the way to go.
But remember, Mr. Moderator, the Kano is a CEO, and
he's one of a kind, because not all of them, in your view, I want to believe, will actually tell the sons or daughters to wait. They would simply take them on.
Yes.
I want to.
He's a patriot.
Also, as a patriotic cadre, and I run that movement of most young people who are patriotic cadres, those who went through patriotism and cadreship training. But there are so many cadres who really have skills, but they're not identified, and they can do better than even the so-called people in these government agencies. And I want to request that when young people come up with these initiatives,
Yes.
support them. Support them. Like, for example, for us, we train for free. But we if we're going to, the last week we've been in Caring Heart in Wakiso. This is a private institution. But we tell them, buy materials. So for example, we train them bar soap, liquid soap, petroleum jelly. These are the eco-care skilling programs that everyone, even yourself, in your home, you use them. And you spend a lot of money to buy a soap in the shop. But if you have it in your home, make this jelly that you can use to smear yourself. Basically, you are saving something to buy at least food. And also in your community, you are able to sell that jelly to your neighbors.
Okay.
But there is we don't, as young people, we don't have money, enough capital to buy these products to train our communities.
So I can see it now goes back to the money bit. The good thing is communication reaching me has indicated, perhaps you saw me on phone earlier, Madam Rita Namuwenge is on her way, so she will be coming, and being that she's a coordinator in Myoga, where there is need for money to reinforce the young generation, to boost them and encourage them, and so many of the sorts of advices we are getting from Kada Akansasira, she will be in a better position to speak. But briefly from Madam Rose Bisikwa, before we take a break, that perhaps will be ushering in Madam Rita Namuwenge. I want to understand, when you hear people with this kind of argument, heated argument like the Kada has been sharing, what kind of mindset do you feel they have? Because maybe by virtue of being so patriotic about the challenges they have observed, they are bound to be taken for non-patriotic or perhaps negatively mindset. Yes. I mean, when we watch the debate in Parliament, the folks or Dois, the Andrew Mwendas, were dubbed homosexualists for advocating for homosexuals. So in this case, does it mean perhaps Kada Kankwasa has a negative mindset or what? Briefly.
Remember, I pointed out that is deliberately shaping the narrative among the youth that somebody doesn't like them. They are our children. We are your mamas. Everything we are doing as a country is directed towards the good of the youth of this country. I remind colleagues who are not like Kano here, who think they should employ their own, that sometimes when you are thinking about yourself, the in-law you'll have will be the one who was rejected. The surgery you'll need might come from the one you rejected. So we need more of the Kanos. But we want to tell the youth through the representation of Kada Akankwansa that Uganda and elders of Uganda are for the good of these youth. They don't come from the neighborhood. They are our children. They are our grandchildren. But look at our history and the imperial history about our education, which made us job seekers and not job makers. We have a disease embedded in our history, but in the information age, we should not continue lamenting.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, thank you, Madam Rose. We shall be taking a break in just a few as we make a bit of transition, because like I said, we need to give more water to Kada Kansasira. He's been sitting on what you would call a hot seat, and as of now, let's take a break. We'll be returning in a bit, but just to remind you, it's Ground Zero program on UBC Radio, Butebo FM, West Nile FM, and Magic 100 FM. But not forgetting YouTube, Facebook, and X, formerly Twitter.
Don't miss UBC Radio Ground Zero every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. We host credible and relevant guests to discuss pertinent issues of national importance aimed at addressing people's concerns.
As a country, if we don't fight this vice of corruption seriously and with honest opinion without any bias, things will not be good for us.
UBC Radio Ground Zero, right here on UBC Radio.
UBC, ensure that the information you give out is factual but also objective, balanced, and complies with the legal and policy requirements for the media.
Ground Zero program is always live, loud and clear, every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on UBC Radio, Butebo FM, West Nile FM, and Magic 100 FM, and live stream on YouTube. You can also listen to the repeated broadcast of UBC Ground Zero every Sunday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. UBC Radio, inspiring Uganda.
As Uganda works towards Vision 2040, UBC Radio is dedicated to the development of Uganda. Join us every day for transformative programs in English, Swahili, and Luo. This is UBC Radio.
This is UBC Radio. Tune in for news.
At UBC Radio, we bring you Uganda's latest news and information.
Focus on Parliament.
What we need to do, the Prime Minister must give us the position before we finalize with the budgeting process.
Enjoy sports. The environment. Politics.
The mission we have is socio-economic transformation.
Health, entertainment, updates in education, on the farm. Keep tuned into UBC Radio, inspiring Uganda.
Are you a Ugandan earning below 1 million shillings per year? Government of Uganda is strategically putting PDM for you to get you out of poverty. PDM is an initiative of the Government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform the lives of all Ugandans for better.
Get to know more about PDM in your parish by tuning in. We bring you experts to explain, clarify, educate, and interact with you on how to benefit from PDM.
PDM, my parish, my development, my life. UBC Radios, inspiring Uganda. PDM.
Welcome back. Ground Zero Season 2 continues.
Indeed, welcome back from that break. It's a Ground Zero program coming your way live on UBC Radio. But of course, we are available as well on Butebo FM, 96.9 in Mbale, 98.4 in Soroti. As well available on West Nile FM radio, that is 98.0 FM. And we are as well available on Magic 100 FM here as well. Our neighbors here, our very own home where the corporation sits, that is Broadcast House. Feel free to follow us on Facebook as we are streaming live, and as well on YouTube, that is UBC Radio Uganda. The Ground Zero program, it is, I am yours truly, Kent, your moderator. In studio with me is Kano Chihuta Patrick, the CEO, Kawumu Leather Industry Uganda. We do have Madame Rose Bisikwa, who also comes in this place representing Mama Youth Uganda. We have Kada Akansa Sira Junior Victor, the CEO, Nature African Youth Network, which is initialized as NAYNET, but as well, he stands here as a global schools mentor on SDGs. I've been reliably informed that Madame Rita Namuwenge is going to be coming in shortly. She happens to be a coordinator Emyoga program, and when she comes, perhaps she will be telling us how Emyoga program has helped skill youth for better achievement of peace and sustainable development of specifically this country, Uganda. Now, gentlemen and lady, as we wait for Madame Rita Namuwenge to come through, allow me direct the talk into the line of how this that all of you do has helped shape the society, majorly that society of the youth that you're dealing with, to keep peaceful and developmental. How has it helped? Let's start with Kano Chihuta Patrick.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kent, and our dear listeners out there. Well, mine, I want to slot in an idea of quality management systems as an industry, indeed in support of the Buy Uganda,
Build Uganda.
Build Uganda,
Boo-boo.
Boo-boo. We have to ensure that quality is our priority. The very reason that explains why number one core value of our industry is quality assurance. This one has helped us, or is going to help us by strengthening the quality, so that we make an option out for those who would be running for second-hand shoes. And yet we were not very sure health-wise, those former users, what happened when they left them, what disease they have left inside, even if you wash. So that now we buy our own shoes made of leather, from the leather we process in Kaumu.
Okay.
However, doing this, we have to have interconnectivities with other people who are ahead of us in terms of quality assurance, bodies like NEMA, bodies like National Bureau of Standards. We have to collaborate with them in order to get the real quality, so that our people should get the satisfaction they would need from the products we are making.
Okay.
And above all, it gives us an opportunity to tap into the external market, the international market. Like I originally told you, dear listeners, that the president, for him in his vision, he made research and development and found out that the wood have been waste, which is hides and skins being used as mats in verandas in the homesteads back there, realizing it is attracting a lot of money in terms of billions. That is the reason he started this program, so that we can tap into that international market.
Kano, does that directly indicate that when someone is engaged doing something, they'd have no time for the element of violence and misuse and mishandling of entities and parastatals, etc.? Is that what it means?
Yeah.
Oh.
Actually, it means that because an idle mind becomes the
devil's workshop.
Now, when we begin engaging the youth, you have heard what has happened in Kenya, the Generation Z, what they are doing. Even things which would be solved amicably, for them they want to use force, because at youth stage, that is
there is nothing to lose.
Age between 18 and 35. You have nothing to lose.
Actually, those are the people that were born between 1997 coming upwards.
So we have to strategize such that we cannot employ all of them at a go.
Yes.
But at least when others see we are handling these ones very well in terms of giving them skills, then they can go slow, because their time will always come.
Okay.
So above all, we are saying, let us strengthen the quality management system, so that even when we say buy Uganda, build Uganda, we should not subject you to substandard materials.
Okay.
That's why we hosted this East African Secretariat on leather chain and supply management from East African Secretariat, being sponsored by Germany.
Wow.
Some 2 days back. That was on 11th.
Okay. Let me get to Mama Youth, as she loves to call herself. When I was ushering her into studio with the guests that we often have around UBC as a national media entity, She saw those young lads that have come to tour this place, and she said, "These are my people." In my mind, I thought maybe she was coming the political way, to look at them as votes, probably come the next financial. But Mama Youth, that is Madame Rose Bisikwa. What have you done as Rose Bisikwa?
Now, let me start from this point. A hungry child is an angry child.
Yeah, right.
Right from our home. If you are to serve food at 1 o'clock and you make a delay and it goes to 2:30, you will notice that your young children start pinching each other, grumbling, making all fuss because they are hungry. What should we do to ensure peace and development? As a person, he has asked me, what have you done? I have been a teacher for many years. I taught in the neighborhood, Shimoni PTC, before I left to do other things in my career, like being monitoring officer and sub-county chief. But wherever I have been, I will start with the teaching of teachers at Shimoni PTC. I did not stop at subject teaching. I started an activity called Activities for Personal Development. Why? The girls would escape to go to Angenua to dance. I would also go to dance. But that was not right. So I introduced this. We started making cakes. We started doing without resources from the principal, but bring in 1,000, we buy wheat, we make cakes. We buy beads and do something. Engage them in productive skills. Where I have been in the sub-county, I worked in Nakasongola local government as SAS. I have youthful friends and still mama. Why? After work, they would be at my veranda because they had something to learn from me. The sub-county chiefs are sub-county thieves, but where I came from, I'm a friend up to now because I would work with the young and the old because we shall not reach there alone. In the Patriotism Secretariat, where I've been working for the last 14 years, is where the name Mama. They stopped calling me Madame Rose, the children started calling me Mama Rose, and I proudly take that upon myself, but I'm appealing to my colleagues who are still working for government. Chinua Achebe said, when they learn to shoot without missing, the birds learn to fly without perching. This youth will not perch. They become smarter if we don't
miss the target.
We miss the target, but they become smarter to catch up with the ills of corruption. Are we together? To catch up with the ills of corruption. Recently, some people were thinking not just being emotional. I said
painfully
painful because if these children take their anger to that level, it is not good for anybody. It will not happen in Uganda because the president has put in place, mechanisms on how we address the children's issues. In school, the teachers are teaching, but he ensured that there is an arm doing mindset change. The curriculum itself, Kano talked about it. It's now practical cadre. If you go to schools now, my son came home last holiday and he was party.
Wow.
He said that these big schools, he got to big school. I'll not say because I think I'm advertising the school.
Actually, the invoice booklet is ready. In case you made that mistake, we would invoice you directly.
You came back saying, not my notes, no. He said, buy wheat flour, buy eggs, I'm willing to do this.
Wow.
And he gave them for the beans to taste better. Wow. Me, I feel I have a son, I have a future. But that is because government has put in place interventions. Right now, if I'm to support you as extended family, okay? I will go to colleagues, tailored courses in these UTCs and technical institutions so that you go skilling. When you come back home with a plumbing skill, I doubt if you'll be having time to play in the next training center to have these enemies of the state influence your own country, because we're having a plan and for tomorrow, so not be an for confusion.
Okay.
So I'm appealing to everybody, let us support the youth.
Okay.
Let's guide them. If a child on the street, buy school day. When I'm footing to my hustle point and I find a child no school, now they know me. Some run away, but they explain to me what school, no school, during school time. Those are not my children. Mine are all gone. We are at home alone in an empty nest. But the child of Uganda is still my concern, because he'll be my next doctor, my next lawyer, at best my next son or daughter-in-law.
Wow.
I'm the mother of the youth of Uganda, and I love them very much.
Thank you, Mama. Mama Youth Uganda, Rose Bisikwa. But because the same question that both of you have answered, Kada already answered, I will twist his to something that he does in addition to what he's been talking about. He's a global schools mentor on SDGs, and I'm wondering which sustainable development goals you pinpoint the most as you grow the skilling element of the youth, so as to achieve peace and sustainable development.
Well, thank you so much, my brother Kent, for that brilliant question, and I want to also thank my lovely mentors, because I see they are really seniors.
Maybe I should tell the listener you've now downed 3 bottles of mineral water.
Not really. I'm a man of my words,
yes,
and I speak what is true and which will help the country. I'm not such a young person who is basically pro-violence, but problem solving.
Yes.
One of the philosophers, Aristotle, said that skill is a unified force of experience, intellect, and passion. So the moment all of us think through growing and nurturing a young one, to thinking about what one can produce or manufacture or can sell, therefore we shall have a rich country, and our homesteads will be really better. On SDGs, this is a program that is sponsored annually by the United Nations Sustainable Solutions Network and UNESCO, that is helped by Global Schools program, where we bring on teachers, professional teachers, both primary and secondary, to ensure that they impart quality education in schools. It is an annual program that's how we got the opportunity to get on board. And I've really learned from being a global schools advocate, because of the amazing work I was doing in Khartoum and South Sudan. So they promoted me to being a global schools mentor, where I was mentoring over 11 mentees from different African countries. So meaning that there's a lot to do. That's why I said we must do that in our country.
Has your mentorship so far yielded fruits? Do
Exactly.
you have people you point to and say that one came through my...
Yeah, in Uganda, I just came back in March. That's how we started the organization 9-8, to ensure that these skills are brought on board than giving them out to other countries, yet we have issues in our own country.
True.
So we are trying to create eco-care skilling clubs in different schools, but what disturbs us is, of course, the monetary capacity. We are trying to see how we can partner with the different international and national organizations to see how they can help us to reach out to communities. And to your question of SDGs, I am really passionate about SDG 4, that is quality education. SDG 5, gender equality. We must bring both, we must look at inclusion, both gender. Then of course climate change, SDG 13. We must all focus on ensuring that we have a sustainable environment, and so that our generations don't die. Maybe if I bring in yours, 16, peace, justice, and the strong institutions, where Kano brings on board a different collaboration, partnerships, and ensuring that we work together as a team to ensure that we have these sustainable skills on board. And of course, when we don't have these initiatives, don't expect peace. You saw what happened in Kenya.
It will not happen here.
I'm very sure it will not happen here. And I cannot also accept that, because I have very many followers, and those are young people, and most of them are patriots. Yeah. But I will say, when we don't handle them properly, and if I want to make it as a final statement, and I want to make it loud, if our seniors and mentors don't fight corruption in this country, we are going to have a doomed country.
All right. Let me open the phone line so we can get a phone call 2 or 3. As well, Madame Rita is not making her appearance visible, but let's take a phone call 2 or 3 on 0776 511 426. Please, caller, as you call and come through, let us know your name, the place where you're listening in from, and go straight to your submission. UBC Radio.
Yes, this is Henry Baguma. How are you?
We are fine, Henry. Thank you for being a part of us, Henry.
Yes, now, one thing I want to, I thank the panelists, and I like to commend the government for the Kaumu project. I have been to Kaumu myself, and what I saw was very good. However, I'm thinking or suggesting that this project in Kaumu should be regionalized, so that we have branches or activities in Western Uganda, in Northern Uganda, here in Kampala, and Eastern Uganda, so that you reach out to the population, reach out to the people. And that is my suggestion, members. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. That is Henry Baguma. Of course, Kano will be responding to that. Please just take note for now so we can receive and then respond in a nutshell. UBC Radio, Ground Zero.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. It's UBC Radio, Ground Zero.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Well, please, when you call us, turn the volume of your set down. That's where the problem was arising from. The caller was having the radio a little higher in terms of the volume. UBC Radio, Ground Zero.
His Excellency, good morning, and good morning to all the panelists.
This is the long-lost Juma from Busega, right?
Yes.